Hey, what's up guys? This is going to be a new knife review on the mini keychain Balisongs available over at bladeops.com. I'll have a link in the description box, a direct link to these if you guys are interested. But they're very, very cool. The one on top here is actually not from BladeOps. This is one I've had for many years, and I'll talk about that in a second. Well, I'll just talk about it first. This is one that I got my sister when she was like 6 years old. Yes, 6 years old. When she was younger, she used to love to flip balisongs, mainly because I did. I was always into the hobby ever since I was young. And, of course, I never gave her a sharp knife to flip. It was always trainers. Back then, I had a Benchmade model 40T, which was not the red one. It was basically a 42, but with a trainer blade. Still the silver handles. But anyway, she got really good. She used to love flipping around, and she had a ball. And like I said, by the time she was about 9 years old, 10 years old, she got really, really good at flipping. But eventually she lost interest when she got into her teenage years. She got old girly girl, and not to say that girls don't like knives, but she just kind of gave up on the hobby. So this is one of the knives that I gave her when she was little that she gave back to me when she decided she didn't like knives anymore. And you can see there, I actually had her name engraved on the blade. It says Brittany. But anyway, I'm using this as a comparison to show one of the ones that I already happen to own. Okay, the one in the box here is the one I got from BladeOps. And just got this. You guys saw the unboxing of this, and I put it back in the, I was playing with it a lot, but I put it back in the box here to show you. This is how it comes. Okay, you do get an actual little box, so if you wanted to buy this as a gift or something, it's a nice little thing. And if you can get it out of the box, it's a really cool knife. There we go. Because I crammed this piece in there too. Now when you first get this, you're going to get the keychain attached to it. You can see there's a triangle shaped piece of metal, and basically, can't get this to turn around now. Basically this was clamped on the bottom portion here. You can see there's a little hole here, little pinhole. Where's my jeweler's loop? Right underneath the last large hole, there's a smaller one right there, and that's where this actually goes through. Obviously this goes through here. Of course it's not going to cooperate with me, and basically it just goes through this hole here, and you would clamp this down, just get your pliers or whatever, and it would just be attached to the handle. That's all. So you have this keychain that's attached, okay? I'm not going to actually have this on my keys, so I took it off. All I did was stretch this this bar out, and you can see it just kind of falls off. So anyway, put that aside. Well, let me show you since it's part of the review. If you are interested, it's just a clasp type keychain. Basically, pull that open, and that's how you get it on and off your keys. Okay, you guys probably remember this. A lot of stuff, if you ever got stuff out of vending machines or like gumball machines, that kind of stuff, all those toys. This is basically how all those keychains used to be back in the 90s and stuff. This little clasp type. So anyway, that's your keychain. If you do want to hang it on your keys, I think it'll be okay. It's a very flimsy metal, so if you bang your keys around a lot, I can see it falling off. That's why I personally am not going to carry it on my keys. But anyway, I'm not interested in that, so I took it off. So here's the Balisong. Well, let me keep my jeweler's loop out so we take a closer look here real quick. Alright, so marking on the blade says surgical steel, handcrafted in China. And the back is just sterile. There's no markings on it. Okay, so move this stuff out of the way here. Now later in the review I'll just compare it to the one I used to own. But first let me give you some specs on it. Weight, I'm not even going to measure it, guys. It weighs like, 0.1 ounces. It's nothing. It's a tiny little light knife. Open here is 3.5 inches long, and it has a 1 1/4 inch blade. So, if balisongs in general are illegal where you live, then this is not going to be a problem. These are legal in California. California is one of the states where the gun laws are ridiculous. It's extremely strict in a lot of senses, but the one thing they do have, which a lot of people don't realize, is that in California you can legally carry a balisong or an automatic knife round, with the exception is it has to have less than a 2-inch blade. Okay, so even though it seems kind of ridiculous, at least you guys can carry them. A lot of states, they're just completely banned. There's no size limit whatsoever. It's just you can't have them. So a lot of people don't know that. As far as shipping issues, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to get into legality stuff. You know, most websites, they have some kind of clause on the website saying that, you know, you're responsible to know your own local laws. So that will always apply. You know, you should always be, you know, legal. But anyway, what I like about this one specifically is it's the first time I've ever seen a keychain balisong with a black blade. I've seen lots of different variations, even the, you know, FHMs or Filipino handmades, the actual little customs that are this size, but I've never seen one with a black blade before. So I thought this was very cool. I definitely want to pick one up. I got this one in silver. They do offer this in a couple different color styles. They all have the black blade, but you can have it with silver handles, blue, red, green, black, or gold. I just thought the silver was kind of cool looking. Oh, you know, the contrast with the black there. They don't come super sharp. It looks like it'd be nice and sharp. The problem is that, and I'm going to need my jeweler's loop again. Get it nice and close here. Might be hard to tell, but the stock on this, although is thin for its size, I mean it's thin in general, but it's kind of thick for such a short blade. Okay, so when you sharpen the edge there, it just makes for a very, let me get this in focus. It's a very blunt edge. You can kind of see that. It's almost like, the best thing I can compare it to is a hatchet or an axe that's not razor sharp. If you have an axe that's well used and it needs to be sharpened, that's kind of the edge you have on here. It's just too much of an abrupt angle. It's basically like this, where you really want it thin. It's kind of like that. I can tell you that if you wanted to get one of these things to actually carry around and use, you certainly could. You just have to, you'd have to sharpen it yourself. You'd have to reprofile it, bring this back to probably at least a 30-degree edge, you know, per side, if not, you know, inclusive. But out of the box, it's not sharp. It's ripping sharp. I'll put it that way. I mean, you can, here. Let's say you have a box you need to open. You can open a box. Okay, you can cut tape. You can puncture, because it does have a nice acute tip on there. You can puncture and kind of rip open a box, if that makes sense. If you could see that. But it's not really sharp. Alright, so as a novelty, you know, that's really where I'd put it right now. As is, out of the box, it's a novelty knife. I wanted one for my collection because I do collect all kinds of balisongs. I'm not going to sharpen this one up. I'm just going to keep it as is, you know, for my collection. But like I said, if you wanted to buy this to actually use, you can just sharpen it yourself. But the whole point of me going through all that was to tell you that it's not sharp out of the box. But I can tell you that I've never gotten one that was super sharp out of the box anyway. This one, being many years old, it's about the same. It's just such an abrupt edge there. It's not super sharp. But anyway, construction is about on par as this one, which is many years old. Basically the same thing. You have brass pins in it. Sometimes you can get a sticky pin, and what I mean by that is this one actually has one. You can see the bite handle here moves freely, but this pin is just slightly over tightened just from the factory, so it needs just a, you know, from the beginning spot here, it needs just a little bit of a push to be able to get, you know, kind of loose and pliable so that you can actually flip it around if you want. Not a huge deal. I mean, if you really want to flip this thing around, you just want to work it in. That's all. You constantly move it back and forth just to loosen it up just a hair so you can flip it around nice and easy. And these little mini balisongs you can flip around. Like I said, I mean, if I want to try this one, I just throw a little bit of you know, lubricant in there and just, like I said, just kind of work it back and forth to loosen it up, and you can actually flip them. But anyway, the construction is, you know, like I said, it's pin construction. They're not bad. I mean, look how long this one is. Basically the exact same thing. And this has lasted, let's see, I got this when I was 14. Bought it for my sister. It's still held up just fine. They all have blade play. You know, they're all going to be like that. There's a little bit of wiggle, but it's where you want it. You want just a little bit of wiggle back and forth. It's not ridiculously loose. In fact, because this one's new, it's exactly where you want it. This one here being old, move that latch out of the way, you can see there's a lot of slop in it. But anyway, so from the, you know, directly from Blade Ops, I mean, these things, they're in great condition. They're ready to go. They're brand new. Like I said, the reason I really bought this one is because it had the black blade. And what I did notice is that most of the ones I've ever owned, sorry about that, guys, that's that 10-minute thing my camera likes to do. Likes to shut off after 10 minutes. I guess that's the camera's way of telling me that I should just speed it along and get to my point. No, but anyway, I was talking about the older one. There's a lot more play in the latch. That's just like any other cheaper Balisong. It's just going to form play with use because things are going to loosen up a little bit. This one still stays relatively, you know, closed. I mean, it will flop open if I keep flipping around. But anyway, when they're new like this, they're nice and tight and ready to go. But definitely a very cool little novelty item. You can actually use these things if you wanted to. I personally won't. They're cool, but I have other knives to actually use. I mean, but it's fun to play around, show your friends, you know, add to a collection, and certainly put in a display case. They look nice. So, anyway, the price on these are $9.99. A lot of times you'll find that these are a little bit cheaper, but it's very much a crapshoot. This one that I got here, I wish I would have got a couple of them, but I just got the one, and so far this one's actually been very good. The ones I've gotten in the past, like this one, they were cheaper. Originally, 14 years ago, this thing cost $3, but I bought 4 of them, and 3 of them broke the first day I had them. So, you know, I don't know. That's just how it is. You know, prices will always differ. What's cool, though, is that if you do like these and you want to add them for a collection, they have a different, on Blade Ups, they have a separate order that actually is for all 6 different colors, and if you get all 6, it's only $34.99, which makes these less than $6 a piece, which I think is definitely more on par. If you're already ordering from them, I think for 10 bucks it's nice to add. By the way, they do have free shipping on everything, which is just awesome. I mean, I don't even think I may have mentioned that before. One of my favorite things about the site is that they offer free shipping. And I can't tell you how great that is, because a lot of times I'll be hesitant in actually ordering something that's cheaper because I don't want to pay the shipping cost. I mean, how often do you buy something online that's 10 bucks and that's like $6 shipping? You know, what sense does that make? It's such a waste of money. If I'm spending $100, it's different. But if I'm spending, you know, 10 or 20 bucks, I don't want to pay $6 or $7 for shipping every time. So free shipping to me is a major plus. Huge, huge plus. But anyway, just wanted to show you that, the review on it. There's not a whole lot to say. It's a small little knife. It's basically on par with any kind of cheap Balisong. The only difference is that it's scaled down and a lot smaller. So, that's all. That's my review. I do like it quite a bit, and like I said, for me, it was just something to add to the old collection, and I'm very happy with it. So, that's it, guys. I appreciate you watching, as always, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.